One of the biggest lessons that we can learn, especially during this time right now where we may be wanting to go inward and wanting to reflect, but not really knowing where to start, focus on where are you not congruent in your life? Where are you living one way but believing the opposite? Or vice versa. You believe something and you're not living that. When I started my journey of inner work several years ago, a lot of it actually stemmed from feeling one way about my life, but then not being able to actualize that in my reality, and feeling as if there was certainly more meaning to life, and yet I couldn't figure out what it was, or I couldn't put the nail on it. And so I started to really reflect on where in my life am I showing up as this person that I'm expected to be, but yet I don't really believe that's who I'm meant to be, or it doesn't feel authentic to me. And some of the examples I can give you, think about your own life in this way. For example, have you always followed a certain political party, a certain religious belief, a certain way of life as far as society and what you're supposed to do or supposed to have or supposed to chase? Have you taken on those types of beliefs, but yet they don't always sit right with you? There's something about them that just isn't your truth. And you know this, but you continue to live it out anyways because you believe that's just what is expected of you and what you're supposed to do. That's an example of where things are not congruent. Another example, do you stay in a relationship or with your partner or your spouse, and yet something within you believes that it's not the right situation for the long haul, but you stay in it anyways? Or maybe you stay in it, but you stray and you're on dating apps, but you're married, or you have someone on the side, or what have you. We all know, tons of those scenarios in life where people have done that. And so that's another example of where you're not congruent in your life. Another example might be you put your kids in a million things because you think that's what you're supposed to do, and you're trying to keep up with everyone around you, and yet maybe you and your partner, or if you're a single parent, maybe that's not what's best for you and for your family and ultimately for your kids. Maybe it's best that you actually be a little bit more relaxed about things and let them choose. If it's causing you strife and frustration and irritability because there are so many things and so many things to research and people to know and communications, etc., then maybe it's not what's best overall. Obviously, if someone is stressed in the family, that's probably not ideal for the rest of the family. So these are areas to look at in your life of where am I not congruent? Here's the truth of what will happen if we don't look at those areas. We will be called on them. Somehow, some way, life will find a way to catch up to you, and it will find a way to point out for you where you're not living congruently. So rather than wait for that to happen and have to go through the pain and suffering that will likely come with that, clear it up on your own. Do the reflection inward so that you can actually say, you know what, here's where I'm not being congruent. Understand why that is. Dig deep within yourself. Why have you not been living congruently? Is it because you took on someone else's beliefs? Is it because you're scared of what others will think of you? Is it because you feel that you need something or you need to be somewhere in order to move beyond that place of not being congruent? What is it that has forced you or made you into that person who's lived in that non-congruent way in various areas of life? Now, we all do this, and there's not a single person unscathed from living non-congruently. The key is to be able to be the one proactively to identify it so that you can change it, again, rather than waiting for life to come and change it for you. The other thing with this is that the biggest lessons that we can learn in life can come from these types of reflections. So what a great time to be doing this kind of inner work. When people ask me about inner work, often this is one of the first places I send them, because it's often the more obvious place in your life where you're not congruent. When you get deeper and deeper into going inward and on that journey, things can get a little bit more challenging and a little bit harder to find or to identify. This should be a surefire, easy one. So have at it, start your inner work, and let me know how it's going on this journey for you.